I welcome you all again and thank you for joining this webinar. So this webinar is all about aviation trends and the type rating course. I want all of you to be very active and so that I know that you are learning from us and you're able to hear or anything that if you have any doubts, you can just be active on the chat, right? So can you tell me, guys, what's this webinar or like what are your intake on this webinar? Like what are your expectations so that I can take them forward and I can be more precise when I'm talking about type rating or the trends?
ईमेल पे आया होगा ना सर लिंक
दिख नहीं रहा ईमेल पे मिल ही रहा है।
Okay. Knowing about the current Indian market, we will be talking about the current Indian market situations as well as the future prospect. So let me tell you like what's the main purpose of this webinar, right? Is to make you job ready. All of you want to be placed, right? You want to get placed into good companies and you'll start your aviation career. Am I right? So what's the best way to start your career? You have your CPLs with you. Most of you must be having your CPLs. Most of you must be still doing your flying. Uh, but let me tell you what's the best part, like what the airlines are looking for right now. It's type rated pilots. So we will be talking about type rating, the current Indian market and the future prospects. So we have, so before I start this webinar, let me just introduce myself. My name is Umang Kaushik and I'll be your host today. I've been in this aviation industry from the past 5 years and like help pilots like you for like 1,000+ pilots like you to successful careers. So I've been part of FSTC. I've been lucky enough to be a part of FSTC. Let me explain what FSTC is all about. Then we'll start the webinar. So FSTC is into three verticals, right? So this is for flying school. The other one is simulators and the third one is defense. We will be talking about simulators today. This is just for your information that we have our in-house. So we are the largest approved ATO by DGCA, also by EASA, Philippines, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Gulf. We are operating here 3 simulator training facilities, 2 in Gurgaon and 1 in Hyderabad, upcoming new base in Maharashtra. We have trained more than 4,000 pilots in the last 12 years. And we have also approved FTO, which we have started in 2021. So there's operations in 2 bases currently, Bhiwani and Narnaul. Upcoming bases in Solapur and Surat. So there are students in Solapur and Surat. You are welcome to join us when we start operations there. So our current existing infrastructure contains of 13 aircrafts, 12 single engine, 1 multi-engine. So additional 20 plus airlines, aircrafts are in pipeline for the next. So this is the project for the next 10 years. Currently, we have 10 full flight simulators. Those are all level D certified. 5 A320 Neo and CEO, 2 Boeing NG, 1 Max, 1 each of ATR 72600 and Dash 8 Q400. So we have 2 FTDs and we have clocked more than 26,100 flying hours and plus 13,000 plus simulator hours. So that's all about FSTC as of now. So we have a few panelists with us. Those are field experts, subject matter experts. Those will guide you, help you with your questions, right? Let me introduce the panelists to you. We have 4 set of panelists. One is Captain Hemant Samant. Please welcome, guys. He is the head of training. He was chief of air safety appointed by DGCA of Air India. He has total flying experience of 23,500 hours, examiner and inspector hours of 7,000 hours. So he's well experienced and he has been in the industry for how long, sir? Like more like 25, 30 years. Next, we have Captain Subhranshu Singh. He was the commander in the Indian Navy Training Air Squadron. He was director of flight operations, Go First. He was also in the interviewing panel in the Go Air. So you guys must be having questions all about how to get like how to crack the interviews or
PPL 1257.
how to crack airline interviews, how like what's the job procedure is all about. So he will be very helpful to you. I would like to ask all the type of questions so that he can answer. He has total flying hours of 11,670 hours and he's a designated examiner plus a synthetic flight instructor and synthetic flight examiner on A320. So, and the next one we have Group Captain VK Khorana. He is retired from the Indian Air Force. Also, he was flight instructor in Negrua. He was the CGI of Gujarat Flying Club and currently he is the ground instructor with FSTC. He has more experience in ground school than you can imagine. He is well experienced in like how to start your ground school with type rating or every like topics. You must be having doubts in how to start your career, like what all topics covered in type rating and everything. So he will be helping with you everything. So please ask all your questions regarding to ground school to Group Captain Khurana. Right, moving on. Mr. Naresh Sharma was also a part of us, but currently he's been stuck in another meeting. He won't be joining us till 4:30 or 5 p.m. But let me introduce himself as well. He has over 20 years of experience in aviation and pilot training. He has inspired more than 5,000 pilots to the successful careers. We welcome you, sir. So my question to everyone is before we start is how many people are aware what is type rating? Can anyone of the attendees tell me in the chat what is type rating? Anyone in layman languages I'm asking, not even technical, nothing's technical, just layman, simple words.
I am Hemant Samant and I would encourage everyone to speak. Even if you speak something not right, it is still okay. We will be able to understand and take over from there. So speak, volunteer.
Arvind, type rating is specific for aircraft type. You are absolutely correct. So it's training on a specific type of aircraft. Right, guys? So, for example, A320, 737, ATR, Q400, these are just examples. There are a lot of aircrafts in Indian aviation, and we will talk about them right just a moment. So how many type of aircrafts are there in India? Can you guys give me a guess or a list? Anything you have in mind? How many type of aircrafts are there in India? T20, 737, 350. Six types. Business charters, many more. Okay, so no further ado, let me show you. So these are the current aircraft types and the airlines that are currently functioning in India. So let's start with Air India. So Air India has currently 82 Boeing, sorry, Airbus A39. So you guys can see, right? So it says A319, A320, A321. Can you tell me why is it written in ones and not in three places? Can anyone guess? Same family of aircraft. You're absolutely correct, John. These are same family of aircraft, and you only have to do type rating of 1. So even if you do a type rating on A320, then you are type rated for 321 and 390, because the inside of the aircraft, like the cockpit, is the functionality of the cockpit is almost same, right? So next is they have a Airbus A356. They have the 0 ATR, Boeing 737 nil, 777-27, 787-27. Can anyone tell me in the chat what is the difference between Boeing 777 and 787? New generation of aircraft, capacity, composite body. New engine, Gen X, 777 is larger. Pranav sir, can you explain these guys? What is the major difference between 777 and 787? Pranav sir? I guess he's not audible.
Shubhranshu sir, you can take the call.
Shubhranshu sir, would you like to answer our attendees? What's the major difference between 777 and 787?
Okay, let me say 777s were developed about 18-20 years ago, and they were made in different kind of combinations where the capacity, that means the length of fuselage, the fuel capacity, and such other things varied for typical stage length. That means how much and how long she can fly once she is up in the air. So it could go from India to New York directly. Also, it could do shorter runs. So those were the options created on 777. Similarly, the 787 was later on developed in 800 and 900 series, and those are 787 aeroplanes also have a lot of advanced automation, as it was said, composite body, and also uh, different fuel capacity ranges to cover different stage lengths with a little less passenger capacity than 777. So that is basically the difference. And of course, avionics and cockpit display is far superior, being a later version. Like 350 has far superior cockpit display and management system, cockpit management system. So this is what is the difference between 787 and 777. Similarly, from 320 family, 330, 340, 380, now 380 is almost obsolete, and because nobody wants to fly 800 people together or every time. So there is 350 now. So that is how it is. Thank you, Umang.
Thank you so much, sir. So guys, as you can see, in aircraft types, currently 490 Airbus A320s are flying in the Indian skies. And then moving forward, there are 6 A350s, ATR, Boeing 737, 777, and so on. So when deciding that which type of aircraft you should start your type rating with, you should always see the numbers of aircraft that are already flying in the skies and the number of aircraft that will be coming in the aviation in the next 10 to 15 years, because that will be your career we are talking about here, right? So guys, can you like think before making a decision like on which aircraft you should try? Because see, flying an aircraft is totally different. There are a set of different instruments, and every aircraft is built different. Its feel is different, and everything is different. But it's talking when you're talking about your commercial, when you're talking about your commercial field, in the commercial field, you should always think which aircraft you should try first, right? Because as we can see in the A320, in the case of A320, 490. So per aircraft, there are requirement of four set of pilots, right? Four set of pilot is for per aircraft. And currently the Indian aviation industry is in the, like it's lacking pilots. It's lacking so much of pilots. So we require like 1,000 or 2,000 pilots every year. So there is a huge scope in the aviation industry as of now, because you guys have already known that Air India and Indigo, they have ordered almost around 400 to 500 aircrafts. Those will be coming in the next 20 to 25 years, right? So choose well. That's all I want to say. Choose well before you start your career, right? I will be moving on to the next slide. So these are questions for the panel in the sense. So our panel, you have met the panels, Saman sir, Shubhranshu sir. So these are set of questions that we have collected through a questionnaire, right? I have already jotted down some questions. So these are the queries I've been getting personally myself and my teams collectively, and we have jotted down these questions. So these will explain mostly of your queries for type rating and the aviation trends. Let me move on. So these are just in questions for your inspiration. So how the panelists started their career, because you all are think or must be thinking how to start my career, right? So Ranshu sir, I would like to ask you like what inspired you to join the aviation or slash Air Force when you were starting your career? Sir, you are, I guess, muted. So Saman sir, would you like to answer what inspired you to join aviation slash Air Force? Saman sir? Saman sir, your call is on mute. Okay. There must be a technical issue. Sir, it's still muted. We can't hear you. Just try to rejoin the chat. I guess that will help.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay. All right. So the question for Captain Shubhranshu was, what inspired you to join aviation or air force? And what is the most challenging and rewarding aspect of being a pilot in 2024?
Correct, sir.
And in the 21st
21st
century,
century.
pilots are suffering from workload, fatigue, and stress environment. Tips to stay mentally and physically fit. I think Shubhranshu Saab, if he is available, he should be best to answer. Otherwise, uh, Khurana Saab has also been through Air Force, so he can give his two bits for what inspired him to join aviation. What are the most challenging and rewarding aspects of being a pilot in 2024? Khurana Saab, how are you feeling?
Okay.
Better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm
Khurana
better
Saab was
today, sir.
not
Thank you.
keeping well yesterday, and we have pulled him still for this. Thank you very much for joining,
Thank you
Khurana
so
Saab.
much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'll try to answer this question. I joined Air Force almost about 40 years back. And why I joined the Air Force was to basically I wanted to fly the fighters. I was motivated. Excuse me, somebody was there at the door. Okay, in the classroom.
Okay.
I was motivated to fly fighters, basically, watching movies and reading about various wars and all that. And for me to fly fighters, the only choice was to join the Air Force. And that is why I did not opt for civil flying. And I gave it a try and I got selected in the Air Force. So that was the reason for me to join the Air Force. Next question is, what is the most challenging and rewarding aspects of being a pilot? To my mind, most challenging, this is my personal view, absolutely. Looking at the civil aviation flying, the most challenging aspect to my mind is to be able to adapt yourself to the ever-changing working schedule. A commercial pilot's job is not 9 to 5. Okay, days of the week and hours of the day for the working will keep changing. Okay, you get enough notice for it, but the thing is, they keep changing. And sometimes this may make difficult to plan your own personal life or the family life. And it's a matter of getting used to it. It takes a little time. I am sure one gets used to it, and thereafter there should not be any problem. This I'm talking about initially at the time of joining or a couple of years after joining, the most challenging thing. As far as the rewarding aspect goes, I've spent lots of time in the Air Force. In fact, I've flown after that also in the civil, because most of my flying career was in the Air Force. So the rewarding aspect is the challenges that one gets to face as a pilot. Flying into different environments, you face new challenges, fly from different airfields. Now, from the civil point of view, the most rewarding aspect is the sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. When you look back after landing, you feel satisfied that yes, I have been able to send people or take people to their destination absolutely safe and sound as planned. So this gives a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. The third question is about the workload. Yes, the workload is increasing, the pilot's workload is increasing, but with the help of the modernization, is ensuring that the pilot workload is manageable. And also the DGCA's cars, they stipulate the number of working hours, number of flying hours for a pilot. So that aspect is absolutely clear how much one has to work. And to a great extent, there is a fair balance between the workload and the fatigue and the stress. Saban sir, with you.
Saman sir, would you like to add so?
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I would draw Shubhranshu Saab to give his input, and then we will.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes,
Oh,
we
no.
can hear you.
Oh, now you can see me also. Ah, that's it.
Yes.
I'm,
Yes, sir.
I'm very sorry, sir. RT failure, part of the job.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So it happens. It happens sometimes. Even in the, the best of the aircrafts. But it's okay. You
So-
have to deal with it.
Jepson 10-1 Papa would have been referred by you for RT communication failure.
I would have done that. And
Okay.
the kids, they know it. They have done their CPL, so it's more often there than in an aircraft like an Airbus, where you have three RT sets, and you have a backup to a backup. Okay, so sorry for the delay from my side, and I will try to answer these questions of yours. And I have 40 years of aviation background. Initially, as asked whether you joined the Air Force, no, I joined Navy and I flew in the Navy, Indian Navy. And the
Yes,
reason being, I was always wanted to fly. I don't know, looking up in the skies, wrong answer, I don't know, but yes, always wanted to fly, wanted to join the Air Force. My parents were scared that they don't want me to fly. So I joined the Navy. They forced me to join the Navy. But my dream of flying could not be curbed. So being in Navy, I joined Naval Aviation and told my parents later that, they forced me to join aviation and I'm flying now. That was that time. Now 40 years of 20 years of naval flying experience and 25 years of civil aviation. I'm flying Airbus 320 and presently in FSTC as a flight simulator instructor and a simulator examiner. And coming to the most challenging and rewarding aspect of being a pilot in 24, the aircrafts, from the time I joined, the aircrafts technology has grown maybe faster than a pilot has been able to adapt to it.
Correct, sir.
Even in the civil aircraft, I will tell you the civil aircraft and the fighters of the Air Force, the technology is going so fast that to adapt to it is most challenging. You have to be on your books on a daily basis. All pilots, you see their photograph, they look very cool, with a, I don't know, once everyone looks up to a pilot. But when you are in the cockpit, when you are doing a job, you have to be giving 100% to that job. It's not a job, it is way of life. People depend on it. And that cockpit, as I said, is changing, ever changing, and you have to be keeping up with it. But the rewarding part of it, as my previous speaker said, is every day you are landing in a different airfield, higher airfields. I still give me a chance. I would like to land at Leh and Kathmandu. Once I do a good landing in Leh and Kathmandu, oh man, there's nothing more rewarding than that. Nothing more rewarding than that. So that is what the rewarding aspects of being a pilot. And I've been telling my kids also that by being a pilot is not a job. It is, what? It's a dream. It is what you always wanted to do. 8 hours is not you're going on a job. You're just going to have fun, but fun in a very disciplined way. And Khurana brought it out that the workload, fatigue, but it is there. It's there. It is a very stressful environment. But if you love to do your job, you can take care of the fatigue and stress and the work. You can always manage a workload. One of the thing which you have to take care of for managing the workload and fatigue is to live a very disciplined life. Disciplined eating, disciplined sleep, disciplined life is very important. Only then you will be able to manage the workload and fatigue and stressful environment of civil flying. That is from my side, Oman. I'll continue
Thank you so much,
giving
sir.
more inputs across.
So guys, you have heard him. So the best advice you can get as of now is live a disciplined life. Discipline will take you to the heights you always want to reach. Right? So let me just ask you a simple question, guys. Was it your dream to be a pilot, or did somebody give you an advice or something like that? Is it for money? Is it for anything? Could you just give me one answer? Like, is it your dream to be a pilot, or is it something else? Jobins, it's his dream. Great. So other people, I guess, must be sleeping. It's not your dream to be a pilot. Like for me, if you ask me, what's the most rewarding aspect of being a pilot? Let me tell you, the money. I mean, who doesn't like it, right? I can be wrong, but okay, it's a dream. That's great, guys. It's your dream. You should always achieve your dreams. The luxury for the aviation offers. Yes. The love of flying, the discipline, passion, money, much more. Great, 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 great. Let's just move on. So very important how to achieve this dream, right? You want to achieve these dreams. You want to have jobs. You want to be a captains. You want to be called captains, right? I've been taking your names. You won't be liking it, I guess. I should be calling Captain Arvind, Captain Jovin, Captain Gaurav. Like how it feels when someone calls you captain. Captain Shilpa. Huh? Would you like to be a captain one day, guys? So moving on. So jobs in 2024. So what are the career opportunities in 2024 and ahead? Subhranshu sir, would you like to answer this? What are as you were in Go Air being part of the interview panel, you must be knowing what are the requirements that the airlines look for when they are sorting out pilots?
Okay, I'll take on this question. Career opportunities in 24. Umang had already told you the number of aircraft which are going to fly in Indian skies, and
Yes, sir.
multiply that with the 4 sets of crew, or maybe we are doing an international 6 sets of crew. So that is a kind of pilots that is required in the future. And you are the people, you're the ones who are going to man that. So your career is wide open. It is just that it has to be managed or channelized in a particular way so that you can achieve it. Opportunities are there. The only thing is it has to be managed or shaped in a particular way so that you can get your jobs, you can achieve your dreams, as in the last slides all of you said. So there is where FSTC comes in. We are here, FSTC, we are here to channelize to get your dream come true. We we are the ones who are here in India. We are the ones who will train you in such a way that it will be a cakewalk for you to get into airlines. But I've seen it. I'm not saying just to, get you here. I've been here for last 1 year, and I've seen, and we have trained so many pilots, and they are all, I can say you with pride, all of them have joined Air India or Indigo. Some of them have gone to Vistara, and they're coming back to us to do the Vistara training. The Vistara is sending them back to us because some additional training has to be done for them, and they've chosen FSTC again because even Vistara feels and Indigo feels that we can do their standardization much better than what you get done in the other simulator centers abroad. That is what I can say what FSTC is going to do for you. Okay, Umang, I will continue with it. Take on from here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
I could-
yes,
I
sir.
could add a few words,
Please,
unless,
please.
because I was away on a phone call. So unless Captain Subhranshu has covered this, I would add a few words. Presently, I am in Hyderabad on an assignment for Captain's Command Upgrade for Vistara Airline. Command upgrade is something very dear and very close to the heart of airline management. They want them to be trained, their airmen should to be groomed, because captain is the last word on the aeroplane. There is no person sitting on the left side of the captain to be looked up to. And that responsibility, if they are giving to FSTC, that means their confidence in FSTC training is rock solid. And that is why I am not wanting to market FSTC. We have seen in Vistara and Indigo's training, the trainee first officers who have been trained at different flying institutes and different ATOs, they have been selected but sent to us to standardize the Airbus way and also give the Vistara culture to them so that they are readily available in the right seat of the airline. So our cumulative experience of our ground instructors, flying instructors and examiners is of that gold standard quality that airlines pass on this very challenging responsibility onto our shoulders, and our trained pilots are really receiving a lot of good accolades in Vistara online as captains also and as first officers also. I think Umang, you can take over from here, because otherwise it will look I am marketing FSTC. I am not marketing, I am only showing them if you come to FSTC, what you get more. We don't just give you the type rating. As Umang said, the first sentence, we make you able to get a job ready.
So if you ask me, why did I organize this webinar? I didn't wanted to do it for FSTC. It's like, yes, I'm doing a job here, but that's it. I wanted to host this webinar for the kids who have all the doubts in the world. I know people like after CPL, people think that they have done their job. Now they have the CPL in the hand, and airline will be coming to them and hiring them on the basis of that. I mean, you can go with the CPL. Of course, you can go with the CPL, but you know what happens when you go with just a CPL to the airline? You're still not ready to fly any aircraft, right? Your CPL is just blank. It's just a piece of paper or a card जो अभी चल रहा है. So till the time you are not type rated for any specific aircraft, do you think any airline would be willing to hire you? Right. So nowadays what airlines are doing is they're doing cadet pilot programs. Has anyone heard of it? Cadet pilot programs hosted by Air India and Indigo? Have any of you participated in those? Guys, any of you has participated in cadet pilot programs? I hope I'm audible to everyone. No, Abhishek, you haven't. Sanat has. Okay, not participated. So Sanat, can you tell us like what happened there in the cadet pilot program? Which airline did you opt for, Indigo or Air India?
Air India doesn't have a cadet program as of now.
Right, they will be having.
Yeah, they will have. Indigo, SpiceJet have been having.
Yes. Oh, okay. I guess I just mistook the words. Opted for Indigo. So did you clear your written exams?
Okay, the gist of cadet pilot program is that you are selected after 12th physics maths to be trained as a pilot for CPL at their facility of their choice of facility, which suits their flight safety and training standards. And then once the CPL is done, they are sent to an ATO of their choice and they are given the type rating. After which the airline, because they've given them an LOI, takes them into the airline and then they are waiting for the right seat to be occupied. Some of them have waited for a year and a half and more.
Yes.
So
Correct.
that is one way, and the total cost to a trainee is anywhere between 90 lakhs rupees to 1.30 lakhs rupees. 1 crore 30 lakhs rupees. And this is spent over maybe about 10 months to 1.5 years, depending upon where you go for flying. Here, those CPL holders who are already having license, if they do our course, we have some advertised courses in recent past. Our courses are for 2 months of duration. And as I told you, Umang will be able to bear with me and he will be able to give you the proof of pudding how many of our trainees were trained in last 1.5 years and how many found jobs. So you cannot be turned away easily unless you make some strange responses in an interview. And when they come to know, Captain Shubhranshu has been on the other side. He has been head of training and on interview panels of airlines. So his response to the trainees who appeared from FSTC background was different because he realized that we train you the best possible way. I can't say the best, but among the best possible ways at a price which is best anywhere in the world. So this is a mix between the quality of training, the quantum of training, because many operators, many ATOs abroad, they are not responsible to Indian civil aviation. They are responsible to their own civil aviation. And as such, because you do not have that country's license to be type endorsed, they sometimes, I would say sometimes, find shortcuts in training. And when you come here, an airline, if it has to pull hair while training you, pull own hair while training you, is only feeling awkward about it and feeling frustrated that what sort of training have these people gone through. So, therefore, what I said to Umang is I don't want to market or drum up FSTC, but these are the facts that can be verified. Over to Umang.
So Shubhranshu sir, I would like to ask you a question. You've been conducting pilot interviews for a very long time. I would like to just help, like Sanath here will be giving personal interview very soon. Can you just provide him sort of questions and what sort of answers are airlines looking for when they're interviewing pilots for a role?
Okay, before that, one more input I want to give you, which Captain Saman mentioned. I
Yes.
joined FSTC only about a year back. Before that,
Correct.
I was director of flight operations training, pilots training in Boeing. So out there, I was sitting on the other side taking interviews of youngsters like Sana. And so how it used to go, the interview, I'll tell you. The first time this interview is, quite thrilling because director of flight ops training, director of operations, even CEO used to sit there. And the kid walks in. The first question is asked is, where have you done your training? So there are two things he has to say. One is where has he done his flying school training, and where has he done his type rating. And they must be knowing there are about 10 odd centers where they can do the training. And we were aware of where these pilots, young pilots were doing the training. FSTC stood out after about 6 months of taking interview and seeing those pilots. Then I realized, sitting on the other side, I realized it, that there was a marked difference between the standard of young pilots, training pilots who had done their training from type rating from FSTC. So after that, my way I used to conduct an interview for pilot was, where have you done your type rating? That was the first question I used to ask. And if he comes out with saying FSTC, then the next question was when. That's it. Those two questions. And one more question, okay, tell me something about you. That's it. He gives a background check, what it's supposed to be. And then, okay, one odd technical questions. Okay, whichever system you like best, let me know. And draw it on the board, what you have to do. And a pilot from FSTC, his interview used to get over in about 10 minutes. Whereas not naming any other ATOs from abroad and the reasons which have been highlighted by Captain Saman, we really found a lot of difference, difference in standards of pilots who are doing their type rating from abroad. And there we had to grill them more because we know that if we get him admitted into our airlines, we have to work much harder. We have to spend more money, more teaching hours on him. And so we were apprehensive and skeptical about taking a pilot who has done his training from abroad. FSTC, I don't know. Why I joined here was, yes, it was a challenge for me to know that the standards out here in FSTC are much more. So I also wanted to join this group, whereas I had the opportunity to join other places, but this is a place I wanted to join and teach, be a trainer amongst the best. So that is the difference. And again, so Oman, that is what I feel about FSTC.
All right, sir. So these are the
60%.
Yeah.
60% of our grooming comes from our ground school instructors who are highly experienced. They have been pilots, unlike in other institutes where they have not been pilots, they have been either engineers or navigators or things like that. Here, a pilot gets integration of technical and performance knowledge, and then he becomes an instructor on type of aeroplane. He is one among the best ground instructors available to groom these trainees for integration of technical and performance knowledge that they've learned. And then our task as SFIs and SFEs becomes easier. So I should admit here that the grooming of the FSTC trained candidate is done at least 60% by my ground school, which I am extremely proud of, and the ground instructors. And then our job becomes even easier because the trainee understands the application of knowledge received. We do not teach in silos, we teach the subjects integrated. And I think Khurana Sahib will bear with me on this, and maybe he has a few words on what I just discussed.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And like you said, sir, uh, the students who have been, or the trainees who have done their type rating abroad, without naming the places, they often, when they come back to India, they often come to FSTC to do their gap in flying training or refresher training. And on the very first day, without asking them where the training was done, within first 2 hours we can guess that yes, the student has not done his type rating anywhere in India. That's for sure. Because the moment we get on with the syllabus and start teaching and start, since it is a refresher or gap in flying, we assume that the training has a certain level of knowledge. We want to start from there so that we can complete the training within the stipulated time. A person who has done his training in India, not only in the type rating in India, he or she will be able to answer a couple of questions. But a person who has done his type rating abroad, he gives a blank look as if he has heard the question for the first time. And this has happened quite often here. And then we need to find out from the student from where the training was done. And now, but the thing is that within the time frame which has been earmarked or has been given to the student or has been given to us to train the pilot, sometimes we feel that no, if 10 or 20 hours are not adequate, and if he leaves ground training and if he completes ground training and goes into simulator, he will not be able to cope up. And then we have to do the evaluation, and then we land up giving the student extra training. And it is happening in almost most of the cases where the training was done abroad. But
so Shubhranshu Sahib will bear with me. We feel the sort of feeling that the trainees would have got after our training, how they would have felt cheated as to not having been exposed to the entire gamut of the type of aeroplane in ground school as well as in flight school, and we have to bring them. You see, till of late we were not doing gap in flying. Now that we are doing gap in flying, we are able to sample people from other ATOs, and that is why we can say what we are saying. Otherwise, we do not know what their training standards were. Now that those trainees come here for gap in flying, we understand where they have been left. And Shubhranshu Sahib, I think you would be able to corroborate what I said, because it is not coming from my off the cuff kind of a discussion. This is experience that we have received and we are sharing.
Okay, sir, I'll bring up, I'll tell you one more point from this. The selection or your promotion as a pilot is not over once you get into the airlines. You know, it continues. You have become a junior flight officer. After that, you come online. You know, you complete your training. What happens is, okay, let's see that if you've taken a batch of 30, pilot's batch of 30, Indigo has taken a batch of 30. Out there, you go there and after doing a written exam and then an interview, 30 of them are marked 1 to 30. If your base, if your background is good, you are in the first 10. 30 have been selected, you are in the first 10. And I can assure you, in the first 10, 7 or 8 will be from FSTC. Now what happens is, here with me, now what happens is, the ground class, because there is a restriction of training, quantity which Indigo or Air India can do. So they start a batch of first 10. Then those first 10, then 10 to 20, then 20 to 30. The first 10 will come online in 6 months. The last 10 will come online after 1.5 years. So you are already 1.5 years behind your batchmate. Now you become a flying officer, then you become a captain. So you are already behind your batchmate. You will become a captain 3 years later. So what I'm trying to bring out is your base has to be strong. When you get into airlines also, you will get a job, but you should be, in the first 10 or the first 5, so that you will get advanced, accelerated promotion to a captain, to a trainer, to a, examiner. So that is also, keep that in mind. Youngsters, keep that in mind, because now you're joining, it is a 40 years career which you will have. And you will not like it if you are lagging behind your batchmate in becoming a captain, just because 10 years back you were not up to the mark in your quality. So keep that in mind when you select your ATO or you select your type place where you want to do your type rating. That's my point.
So if we are talking about type rating here, this is the main topic of our webinar. I would like to ask you, like, I have already shown them like how many airlines and what type of aircraft is already in the boom. I will show them another slide after this. But after I would like to ask you, like, what are the major factors in 2024 that a pilot should consider before selecting a specific type of aircraft for their type endorsement? Saman sir? Major factors in 2024 that a pilot or like CPL holder, a fresh pilot, should consider before selecting a specific type of aircraft to their CPL endorsement.
So it's quite simple. You have the chart shown to them, how many aircrafts are there of which type in the country, and how
Right,
many
so-
aircraft of which type are on order. Airbus weighs excessively highly over others. And as such, Airbus training would be the natural sort of option. But you would see that Boeing 737 is presently, there is a craze for Boeing 737 training now, because some operators like Akasa or Air India Express or SpiceJet are looking for these type trained people. But when you see overall the number of aeroplanes on order and number of aeroplanes available, and also see the impact of the new flight duty time limitation civil aviation regulation, you will see pilots are going to be extremely in short supply for the airlines that are wanting to retain their schedules and fly the aeroplanes. So therefore, if you are trained on Airbus 320 and Boeing 737, you are a ready commodity available. I don't say on 737 it will be forever, on 320 it will be forever. This is a sort of yo-yo that keeps happening, and it will happen. There was a time when we had seen there were no takers for Boeing, especially after the 2 MAX crashes. But now that Boeing has revived, yes, those aeroplanes that are already in India, they are starved for pilots. So therefore, presently, वो इसको जो ज्वार भाटा कहते हैं ना, वो हो रहा है. But a long-term thinking would be taking Airbus course first, and the second option would be Boeing 737 or ATR. I am speaking as if I were to advise my own nephew or my own niece, or for that matter, my grandchildren, because the age difference between me and this generation is already two generations. So they are like grandchildren. And to them, I would like to tell the best what is possible, and they could choose from that. So that is what is my take on this. And I am not seeing much participation from the participants unless you are receiving their messages on the side. But there could be audio communication between trainees and us so that it is sort of a interactive session, and they get more fine-tuned answers or responses to their queries in their mind. That is what is my suggestion. That is why we are here on this kind of a seminar.
Guys, do you like to me to unmute you and you would like to ask your questions? Just type yes in the chat. I'll just unmute. I have this option with me. Or you can do you. Yes, please. Let me just check if I can unmute you guys.
Shilpa ji.
Hello, am I audible?
Hello.
Yes, Shilpa. Hi. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Good evening.
Yeah, so just a bit introduction about myself. I am Shilpa and I am on the verge of completing my CPL. I am currently on my multi-checks.
Okay.
And yes, I'm looking forward to choose a school for my type rating. And I have, measured all the pros and cons of both the, we talk about Airbus or the Boeing. Those are the main two preferences, the preferred aircraft type I want to get my type rating on. And after weighing both the pros and cons, I would like to go for my type rating. I
The
would
voice
like
is
to
breaking. Actually, we lost you for a while. Can you please just repeat what you just said?
Yeah. So am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said, I have, measured my pros and cons on, of being type rated on, both Airbus and Boeing. And, considering them, I have decided to go for my type rating on Boeing. So I just wanted to inquire about the slot availability, in FSTC, and also know how long is the duration and what would be the fee structure for the same.
Okay. Shubha, I will like to tell you that currently, so this course duration is about 40 to 50 days. And the fees for the Boeing is 19 lakh rupees. And as of now, Boeing simulators are full for, you can say, 2 to 3 months. And we can look, but it goes as it goes for A320. I'll tell you guys, it's the course duration is the same, 40 to 50 days. Fees is 15 lakh rupees. And there is currently a slot opening in Hyderabad, not in the Gurgaon facility, but it's available in Hyderabad. That's for the both as for FSTC.
How long, if so the duration is for 40 to 50 days, how many hours per day, do we
Okay, if you want me
have
to
be present at
explain
the
the
facility?
exact type rating, okay. I was actually I was holding this for the end, and like I would explain the exact how the type rating goes, everything. It's in the end. I will explain that to you. But if you would like to ask anything to the panel, that you can ask. I'll explain the type rating part in the end. I'll assure you.
Shilpa,
Okay.
I'll just
Thank you,
ask you
sir.
one thing.
Yes, sir.
What made you choose Boeing?
Okay. So actually, it is due to the age cap that every airline has come up with. I am 32 plus. So if we look at the trends, Vistara, they have 30 years age cap, on the hiring of Airbus trainees.
Yeah.
If we
Okay.
talk about
Yes.
Air India, it is 30. So the only option I'm left with is Indigo and the Spice. The Go Air has gone. I don't want. I mean, I would not. Spice would not be my first preference. So the only option I'll be left with is Indigo.
Okay.
And if I go for type rating on 737, I have more options available,
Hmm.
comparatively.
And then
So yeah.
Shilpa, I suggest also consider type rating on ATR.
So I am not very keen on, being type rated on ATR, because ATR, they mostly you fly ATR for short sectors. So
Yes.
in a day, they'll go for 3 sectors,
Okay,
four
well,
sectors,
I
five
was just
sectors.
saying
It's very.
more for your job opportunity and
Yeah, so see, I have to, balance. I mean, for before choosing a type rating, is uh, it's a big thing, because we are deciding our future.
Confusing.
Like most of the years, once we start get a type rating done, we would want to stick the same aircraft type for good 4, 5, 10 years. So I just want to, measure everything, and then invest my time and my money and my energy in an aircraft type.
Yeah, that's you must have thought a lot about it because I know you have done your research pretty well. That is great, and I'll just say all the best to you.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
uh, okay, so like for the type rating part, I'll explain that to you in the end. As of now, if anyone else want to ask, Shilpa, I'll be putting you on mute again. If you have any other question, you can ask.
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, okay. So if anyone else wants to ask a question, I'll just unmute you. Devansh, wait, let me just give me a second.
Hello everyone, good evening.
Good evening, Devansh. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Sir, I have a question. I'm confused. There are also CPL vacancies coming up for ATR 320, 737. So we get a lot of options.
Correct.
But if we do type rating, we get bound to one aircraft. So what are your views on this?
Samuel, sir, would you like to answer this question for him?
I think in my last discussion, I had given the view as to what market is, how the market will move, and yes, there would be a few vacancies now. However, looking at the number of aeroplanes sheerly in Indian airspace presently and
Yes.
on order, I would have thought what I said. But yes, it is true that what Captain Shubhranshu said, ATR is a very, very hot cake. People are selected immediately if they are good and they are type qualified on ATR, because there is a big fleet expansion. ATR by Indigo is going to be world's second largest operator. But like Shilpa said, some people think these are पंखे वाले जहाज, तो ये तो छोटी छोटी उड़ाने भरते हैं. ये जो बात है ना, ये मैं आपको बताता हूँ. हमारा पहला जहाज, मेरा पहला एयरलाइन का जहाज एवरो था, एंड इट वाज कॉल्ड hot cabins and cold galleys because it would soak heat, and there were no hot galleys. So from there, we graduated, but our grooming on the ATR or Avro or Fokker was so good because there were so many short sectors, so many more opportunities for takeoff and landings, and you would learn even better the airmanship plus, I mean, air personship, or also the environment of commercial aviation. And once you have a few hundreds or thousands of hours, you would be sought after onto the jet aeroplanes by the same operator. Having said that, what the other gentleman just asked, yes, how do you choose? It depends upon what you are looking to. If you are looking to toil it out and be very strongly trained or consolidate in your experience in handling and airmanship, yes, these Pankhe wale jahaj are far, far better option. They are selling like hotcake also. And others are what I just told you. If there is a cadet pilot, he is looking for placement after 3 more years, and you all are near closing CPL or already CPL holders. For you, it's a 2 months training and then maybe a month extra for DGCA to stamp your license. You are available on market as a trained pilot on type. Well, I can say FSTC trained pilot on type, either on ATR or on Q400 or on Boeing or
Airbus
on
and
Airbus.
Boeing. Yeah.
So this is my 2 bits towards the question that he was asking. I cannot say
Yes, sir.
other aeroplane is not good. All aeroplanes are good. जिसमें आपको जॉब मिलता है, जिससे आपको एक्सपीरियंस मिलता है, वो अच्छी बात है.
Always.
Devanshu.
Shubhranshu
Yes.
Shubhranshu ji, you have any other point to say?
To be very commercial nature, correct me, sir. I think ATR pilot gets more pay than Boeing or Airbus pilot as of now.
That is also true because they are in short supply.
Yes.
So, but
As I
there is a
said,
short supply for every airline, if I'm not wrong. And in the
Right.
yes,
future, if
and
in
the
the future, like airlines are ordering more Airbus and not ATR, why is it so like if the market is demanding more ATR pilots?
No, Norman, I'll tell you, you can call me biased. And if it is a dream to fly an aircraft, Airbus 320 is an aircraft to fly. Khurana will be upset with me, but between a Boeing and Airbus 320, Airbus 320 is one generation ahead. That's an aircraft to fly.
Airbus 320, 40 years ago when it came, it is still a generation ahead of 787. Can you believe this?
So 787 is the top of the line.
Yes, it is
Was
even
like
ahead
that time.
of 787 in many, many ways. I am not wanting to market 320 versus
No,
737.
I'm not saying market 320 or something. I was just asking this, miss my personal question. Like why in the aviation industry, if I'm seeing aircrafts ordered in the like all of these categories in these 4 categories, why are the airlines choosing Airbus over other aircrafts?
I'll tell you. You see, Indigo is the fastest growing airlines in India.
Correct. So,
And every airlines want to maintain one particular type of aircraft because that eases out their maintenance part of it. That eases out their, all support, technical support, number of people they have to employ is less. So that is why, and Indigo is the one who has ordered the maximum. That is why you find Airbus is the maximum.
Indigo and sir, Air India also.
Air India, because that Air Asia merger, they are
Yes.
also keeping the Airbus. They're getting
But the
more
other
Airbus.
other merger of Air India, if I talking about Air India Express, they are more on Boeing 737. Gaurav has a question. Let me just put Gaurav up online. Gaurav,
Hi, good evening.
good evening. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I would like to give you a brief introduction. My name is Gaurav, and I'm also nearing the completion of my CPL. My question
Congratulations.
is, thank you, sir. Thank you. My question is related to Captain Saman's point, where he pointed out that uh, going for type rating for ATR aircrafts is a good option. However, my question revolves around the point that are there any chances for new pilots to start their career with ATR aircrafts and eventually transition to the jets or the bigger aircraft which are flying on the longer routes? Because quite frankly, in my opinion, uh, every pilot wants to see the world and go to different countries as well. And through the
Definitely.
yes,
Mhm.
through ATR aircrafts, we have limited options. So, are there any transition opportunities in India currently and in future?
Gaurav, as Captain Samant also said, that it is a very sinusoidal curve, up and down. And in present, next 5 years, Airbus has more requirement of pilots. So people from ATR move to Airbus. At certain point of time, let's say after 5 years, ATR has more requirement of pilots. So the airlines will say, okay, stay in ATR for next 5 years, then we'll upgrade you to 320. So I will say it depends on whether when you are coming up for transfer to the bigger aircraft, whether you're in the right slot, right time slot or not. So it's, a little bit of luck also plays in there at that time. So don't believe anyone saying that, yes, after flying 5 years on ATR, I will move to 320. No, it depends after that 5 years whether there's a vacancy in 320 or not. It depends on that.
Actually, we are doing crystal ball gazing. Hello?
Right.
So,
I think we are doing crystal ball gazing too much. Let the candidates feel free to see what we have said so far and assimilate and then have their questions, and then we can take it further.
so that was Gaurav's question. Gaurav, would you like to repeat your question to Saman, sir?
Sorry, I had to
Definitely.
leave because there was a call. Now I'm back on.
Okay.
Yes,
Gaurav?
sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, Captain Samant, and to all the other gentlemen, Captain as well. Sir, my question was related to your point that when you pointed out about ATR aircraft, you said that it is a good option to go for type rating for this aircraft. However, my point is that are there any current opportunities for pilots to transition from ATR aircrafts to jet aircraft so that they can fly on the longer routes? As a pilot, as an aspiring pilot currently, sir, I would like to see the world and see different countries. So, if a pilot starting out with ATR, will they ever get opportunity to go on jet aircrafts and use that previous experience, flying hours to be counted?
They would be preferred over others for command on the later aeroplane. Very simple. If you have flown an aeroplane and earned experience the hard way, then you can easily establish in a little more cozier environment. Airbus is so well automated that actually she flies you rather than you fly. So therefore, Airbus pilots are not captains and co-pilots. They are CM1, CM2, cockpit manager 1, cockpit manager 2. They have to manage the systems of the aeroplane. She flies with too much of automation. Now we teach here, if automation fails, how to conquer the aeroplane, still remain on the saddle. So people who have experience from the smaller aeroplanes are preferred for command because they have really developed their airmanship. This is one part. And second, what you said, see the world and all that, from your age that you are starting up to 65, you have a lot of time to see the world, enjoying longer duration, longer distance flights, and still be a sought after pilot. My previous experience, I didn't speak much. I was also the Chief Flight Operations Inspector of DGCA, and I was in DGCA on deputation for over 10 years, over 9 years. So some of the circulars are also signed by me as Chief Inspector. So I would give you almost completely unbiased picture for you to feel the pulse of these particular aeroplanes career that you are looking at.
Thank you for your input, sir. Thank you.
Gaurav, I hope he answered your question.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Okay. Great. So, sir, John has written a question. I'll just read it out. As of right now, should we opt for the type rating on any type, or should we wait for the CPL vacancies, taking into account the money crunch certain trainees might have? Or is it best to have a type rating?
Regarding money crunch, you do not think that airlines are going to give you things on platter. They are going to ask for a training bond, which is in over double the cost of type rating, and that training bond will remain for so many years till you serve it out, versus doing type rating and being available. Now, this is a situation of a perpetual cat and mouse game, that airlines will look for pilots and they would say, all right, you come as a cadet pilot for me from CPL to type rating, sign this service bond for 62 lakhs rupees or whatever. Airline will hardly spend maybe 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs rupees on you, but they will bond you for the entire amount till 5 years or something, or whatever number of years. And then, do you think you have done wise, or do you think you have taken the advantage of this time where you have made your type rating and you are on the market as an available pilot? You all are CPL qualified or close to qualification, so you are not in the cadet pilot range of 10 plus 2 and taken by the airline to go to a flying school. That goes into 85, 90 lakhs to maybe 130 lakhs rupees bracket. That is a separate aspect.
John, I have Osam sir has answered your question. So, okay. Also, which is the best airline for work-life balance according to your view?
I may be biased. Indigo is learning now because of last few years how exodus has been there from Indigo. that you do not use the pilot to the last available sort of energy and then ask him to recuperate and come the next week. But that operator is a very calculated and wise operator. Work-life balance, charter flights are also, see what is work-life balance finally? How you look at your projected life. Air India is an option where, yes, work-life balance is better. Air India is an option now that Air India is Tata and Vistara together. I mean, Air India and Tata Vistara together, it is going to be a very big operator. Indigo is already a very big operator. Rest will probably have to follow what other these two market giants do, but not to sound biased, still I would say Air India would be slightly better work-life balance than Indigo. But as I told you, Indigo is learned the hard way. They will come out with something even better, and this cat and mouse will keep on happening. Yes, charter flying is another option, but you spend 50, 60 lakhs rupees of that type rating. And then your flying numbers, flying hours are few and far between. Your total cumulative experience to build to ATPL also will take a lot of years. I was head of Poonawalla Aviation as CEO earlier, so I know what sort of flying the co-pilots got and how long they took to qualify for ATPL. And without ATPL, you are nothing to go towards left seat of any aeroplane because most of these aeroplanes are above 5700 weight category.
Yes, sir. Guys, I would like to welcome our special guest for the evening, the Air Commodore Daga. So he was in the Air
Welcome, Dagar.
Force.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Dagar Sahab.
He is currently the CGI with FSTC, and he has experience in the Air Force, sir, for
40.
40 years, and currently with us for more than 5 years, sir.
Yeah.
Like more than 5 years. So I would like if you have like any questions for Daga, so you can also ask. So currently, I'll just give you a gist. We have covered sort of questions about type rating. So what are the major factors in 24 that a pilot should consider? Major differences between these. So would you like to answer what are the major factors in 24 that a pilot should consider before selecting a specific type of aircraft?
Okay, good evening, everybody. When you talk of selecting an aircraft, you have to consider two things. Number one, can you afford to wait for the employment, or would you like an employment immediately? In case you want an employment immediately, it appears that Boeing is slightly ahead of Airbus. But when you look at it from the aircraft perspective, I would say that Airbus is the next generation and Airbus is futuristic. Boeing has been using this aircraft since 1967 with minor changes. And the effect of that is visible to everybody, especially the last 3 years. Okay.
So John has a question. Would you suggest a trainee who has recently completed CPL to start their type rating right after they receive their license, or should they wait for a month or two before going for type rating?
Okay. When you talk of commencement of type rating, there are two aspects to it. Either you start immediately or you wait for a couple of months. Type rating is basically a license for you to appear for a job. How soon do you want a job? How soon do you want to be capable of being selected by a company? Your decision. The sooner you want, the sooner you start.
So because once you start a type rating course, it will take you 2 months, at least 2 months to complete the course, and then 1 month to get the endorsement done. So if you wait a month or two, you will be lacking a month or two. You will be going ahead and ahead. How many months you wait, the month it will take you forward to get the endorsement and to get your job.
And remember, there's one more thing. Whenever you join the airlines, your seniority is dependent on the date of joining for all the goodies that come later on. Because initially you become a first officer, thereafter you become a captain, you become a TRI, you become a designated examiner, you get into management. So the earlier you get in, the earlier you are in the queue. Freedom is yours.
So what's all these trainees or candidates, they are almost on the verge of completing their CPL, or some of them have already gotten their CPL. So the question is like, what should be the first type of aircraft should a CPL holder get endorsed on in 2024 or in the head?
If you ask me, when I look at next 10 years, Airbus has an edge. Go for it.
So as of now, as Saman sir was suggesting, like ATR pilots are the more demand as of now, and they are getting more job packages comparing to the Airbus. So what's your view on that?
When you talk of the job with respect to the aircraft, it's a sine curve. Everybody comes on top and everybody goes at bottom also. You take your decision based on your analysis.
Right, so
Dagar, as I said, it is crystal ball gazing many times, and we
So-
should not do that.
This is exactly what I said, sir. Everybody has to analyze for himself. That
Yes, and the sine curve is the fact of aviation.
so
So I got a very valid question. So is based. So John is saying my question was based on the fact that maybe if get type rated and the vacancies come for the other type of aircraft, we would be bound to that aircraft. So what is it the get around to that?
it is like getting married. It is like ordering dinner in a restaurant. You order from the menu, and when you look at the guy sitting on the next seat, you find it better. Your decision.
So the say Devansh is also asking. So same question for me. If we wait for CPL vacancy, we have a lot of options.
Very good. When you have a CPL vacancy, remember there is one aspect that is known as costing. Here, I'll give you an example of private engineering colleges. When you talk about the private engineering colleges, every college has 100% placement nowadays, a decent college. But the problem with that college is for the placement, they charge about 1.25 lakhs from the parents, out of which they keep 25,000 and give 1 lakh to the company who employs them. And the company calls them every quarter. A lot of people are called every quarter, certain number of people. Some of them are employable, others are not. Those who are employable stay with the company, others are told, sorry, please look for another job. Similarly, when you talk of an type of aircraft, your decision, your call, your luck. Because I don't think I would like to say which type of aircraft you should go in for. Industry changes, and with the changes, things will happen. But what I say is, I'm not looking at next 6 months, next 1 year, or the job. I am looking at the type of aircraft that I would like to grow with. You need to take a call, which is the type of aircraft which has a future. Where are you likely to find growth? And the best example I can give you is that Boeing 737 first flew in 1967 and was inducted in force the civil aviation. Till date, about 11,700 aircraft are in service. Airbus 320 came 20 years later, inducted in 1988, and already 11,400 are in service. And when you talk of futuristic orders, Boeing has an order of 16,500 aircraft. Airbus has an order of 18,500 aircraft in the world. So if you look at a mathematical calculation, Airbus appears to have an edge. But you have to take a decision that would you like a job as quickly as possible and then pay your EMIs, or can you afford to wait? Your call.
We have another question. What preparation should a candidate do before they join FSTC in terms of pre-TR classes, or doing ground preparation by ourselves, or any other advice we should follow before we go for type rating, which can help us doing our type rating?
Okay, at FSTC, we start at least one course every month. And there's a date for starting on that course, which you'll find on the website. Our aim is that the study material is sent to the students or the trainees at least 15 days in advance, which is adequate for you to prepare. Because the documents that you need, you won't get them elsewhere. How to go about studying them, you won't come to know unless you get the documents and the write-up from our side, how to go about it. On the other hand, there are a lot of people in the market who are making a lot of money by giving you earlier preparation, and they charge anywhere between 60,000 to 90,000. Freedom is yours.
Ran, I hope you got the answer of your question. So guys, do you have any other questions for the panel before I just move on with the webinar?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am required to move to next assignment. So you would excuse me. You have eminent panel still available, and I could be saying good day for the time being. If there are any pressing questions, you could be sending it to me, Umang, and then
So
we
I
can
will
go.
definitely forward them to you. Thank you so
Right.
much for your time, sir, and thank you for
Thank
your
you.
valuable inputs. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Good day,
you.
sir.
Good day, sir.
Good
Good
day.
day, sir.
So guys, do you have any other questions for the panel? Uh,
Okay, guys, very good. It was great interacting with you. I also need to go for my next commitment. If you have any questions, I'm available. And Umang shall pass on the information to me. I shall send it across through Umang.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you. Current age. Please explain the current age cap for A320. I'm not sure what you're asking here. For Indian Airlines. Age cap.
You
There is no
asking
age.
that he can join?
Yeah. Gaurav, can you please explain this question to me, the current age cap? Maximum age.
Hey, I've got one of my trainees. Please come.
Hi, welcome to the webinar.
Please sit here. Hi, guys. Good evening. I have one of my trainees whose classes I was taking. Her name is Navraj Dhillon. She did her type rating from Bahrain, and she's with us for the refresher. For next 1 minute, she will tell you what is it that she found different at FSTC compared to, and let me tell you, she has not been tutored.
Not at all, sir.
Please just listen to what she has to say.
So it's been 3 days I'm here, and as sir has already said that I've done my initial type rating for Bahrain, and this is my refresher course. So I've been here since last 3 days, and it's been a really, I would say, an eye-opening thing for me and my fellow batchmate also. We had a lot of issues with the performance earlier, and I think we had proper training from sir, and he's given a lot of input like how to go about it, and there's various approaches also that we have gone through, and we were able to come to a conclusion that I think everyone should consider FSTC for their initial type rating as well, not just refresher. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you so
Guys,
much for your time.
guys, she has a
I
cap
have
to
a cap.
catch.
Yeah, so I'll just leave, sir, now.
Okay.
Good luck for your training, guys.
So there's a question like, what's the maximum age to join an airline as a trainee? for 320. I'll just unmute Gaurav. Wait. Yes, Gaurav, we are able to hear you now.
Yes, sir. If you can kindly throw some light on the current age restrictions for Airbus A320 vacancies in the present Indian market. If you have a list, or if you can just explain what is the current age.
Okay, Gaurav, I'll say one thing. As per available information to me, 30 years, you can be rest assured everybody needs you. Above that, you have to go to each airline and check their site. What is it that they're expecting? But as long as you're below 30 years, you're confirmed you'll be taken everywhere. All right?
Yes, sir. And for do we have any information about the specific airlines who are taking initial candidates for 320 vacancies for who are more than 30 years old? Do you have any information?
Okay, in this regard, I will tell you it's all a game of demand and supply. Even if they take you as a CPL holder, at the end of it, you will have to do a type rating. Whereas if you're type rated, you have a better chance of getting in earlier. The call is yours. Either you do type rating with the airlines if you're a pure CPL holder, or you do type rating with us and you are empowered to become employed earlier. It's your call. All right.
I understand. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, I've been hearing like you guys, this question, let me answer you. So having a job with just CPL and having a job with type rated. So what do you think will happen once you join an airline when you are just holding a CPL? They will ask you to get type rated, right? And what will they do? They will send you to any foreign ATO or any other ATO that they have tie up with, and they will ask you to, like, so when you sign a bond with an airline, they ask you for a like sort of, obviously there is a money involved in it, right? And the sort of money the airlines charge for conducting your type rating is very different when you do a type rating by yourself. And I'm not saying do it with FSTC, do wherever the hell you want. Right. I am just saying, but when you do your type rating self-sponsored, it's more easier on your pockets. Because if I compare when the airlines do your type rating, they charge you around minimum 25 lakhs to 30 lakhs for your type rating. Whereas where you do your type rating self-sponsored, it starts from 13-14 lakhs to 20 lakhs. So the choice is completely yours. I'm not saying you should see there are vacancies, there will be vacancies. Airlines require 1,000 to 1,200 pilots every year. And I'm talking about all sort of aircrafts. You just need to, there are walk-in interviews every time going on. You can just check their websites. Walk-in interviews. See, if you ask me, there are 400, 500 like aircrafts standing. And why do you think the flights are getting delayed? Tell me. Why do you think the flights get delayed at the airport? Is it because of the weather? One reason. Is it because of the pilot was on standby? Another reason. Is it because of they are lacking more pilots than they should have? Of course, that is the main reason. If there is a pilot standing by for every flight, why will it get delayed? So if the industry is already requiring so many pilots, then you should be opting to go for it and take action right this moment. Why do you want to wait a month 2 month, 3 month before you opt an option. See, I know it's very difficult to just choose one type of aircraft and then just move on to the other because you saw that there was a vacancy. See, I will tell you, I deal with pilots all the time, and when I meet a pilot who is a Boeing type rated or who is flying in the for Boeing, they come and complain me कि यार क्यों घुस गया मैं Boeing में, काश Airbus पे होता, right? When I meet an Airbus pilot, they come up to me, यार यहाँ क्यों फंस गया, काश दूसरी पे होता. Complaints will be everywhere, complaints will be all the time. But time to take an action, it's right now. It will always be right now. Waiting will just make you waitlisted. And you are waitlisted because यार आपके आगे बहुत लोग हैं, it's a बहुत competition. You know there is a lot of competition, right? So John said, so recently one of my colleague who completed CPL few months back in FSTC FTO, she got selected in Indigo and her final price with airline training was 27 lakh. So is it cheaper or costlier? Of course it's costlier. 27 lakhs. And I'm talking about if you do a 320 type rating with us, it's 15 lakhs. They're charging 27 lakhs. So what do you think? Which one is costlier? You decide for yourself. She got a job security, and that's not even a job security. That's even after what type of C. For example, let me tell you. So, for example, you are just a CPL holder. You guys are not an example. You are guys are CPL holders. You go to an airline with just your CPL blank slate, right? Now they will give you an option. Which type rating do you have to do? Do you think they will give you an option? Or is it on the demand that they have? They will obviously tell you that do this type rating and from there, then you are right, obviously on the demand, right? So once you go to an airline, you are already bound with them. You sign a bond. What is a bond? Bond is that you're fixed, right? And let me tell you, see, अब मैं the difference बताऊं, the real difference between a CPL and a type rating. You guys were saying that you will get stuck on one type of aircraft. Let me tell you, but you are open for all type of airlines. Once you sign a bond with one airline for one aircraft, you're stuck with one aircraft, one airline. But once you've done your type rating, you are open for that type of aircraft, but for all the airlines, you can apply anywhere. So that's just the main point. If you guys think about it, because airlines, see, it's just a game, because airlines also know that people will come to you once you start the opening, because naam joda hai na unka. If I tell you an example, if you go to a regular tailor or if you go to a Raymond, which one will ask you for a more price? Raymond, right? Because they know the name is associated to it. But the same quality of training or better quality can be achieved from anywhere else also, from the local one also. But will you prefer that? No, because it doesn't have the brand name. These all airlines are brand names. Indigo, biggest airline in the world. How? They're selling their flight tickets so cheap. Cheapest airline in the world. 6th biggest airline in the world. So that's how because they're charging their pilots before they enter. They're signing their bond for 5 to 10 years, and then you are bound to them. You cannot go anywhere. Then you're feeling stuck. So choose wisely. If you do a self-sponsored training, if you want to do it, do it. If you want to join airline, do it. So I'll just move forward. I want to explain everyone, like I guess Shilpa had a question about type rating course. And most of you might be knowing about the course, but I want to explain what actually type rating is all about, right? And how the course goes on. How many of you people have read this car or have gone to the DGCA website and read this car, Civil Aviation Car 667, Series B, Part 19? Guys, have you? Any of you has read this car? So let me just explain. So this car is for the requirement for undergoing endorsement training on airplanes used for scheduled, non-scheduled, and general aviation operations. So this is basically meaning a car that is the main requirement if you want to apply for a type endorsement on EGCA or DGC, right? So there are three types that DGCA has justified. First one, type A, is commercial jet aeroplanes, narrow body, wide body, such as Airbus 380, 19, 20, 21, 330, 40, 50, 80, Boeing 737, 747, 757, 767, 787, 788, and 900, 747, and etc. Type B comes your turboprops above 5,700 kg, such as ATR, Q400, Dornier, and other airlines. And the rest comes in Type C, other jet aircrafts, like such as Challenger, Gulfstream, Global, Falcon, Citation, Phenom, etc. So do you guys have any confusion on the type of aircrafts? So we are dealing with three types of aircrafts. According to DGCA, there are three types. First one is a commercial jet airplanes, narrow body, wide body. Second one is turboprop, and third one is also other jet aircrafts, right? That doesn't come under type A. So this one is the what is the requirement and what are the documents that you need to submit to get the type endorsement, right? So the prerequisite qualification requirements. First one is minimum hours on multi-engine aeroplane, right? There is no additional requirement for Airbus, if that is different, but the minimum requirement is 25 hours for multi-engine aircraft. 10 hours can be completed in an approved simulator. That means 15 hours can be done on a multi-engine aircraft, or 25 hours can be done on multi-engine aircraft, and the other 10 can be done either on the aircraft and either on a simulator. Next is your jet induction training. So jet induction training comes in two parts. First one is classroom training / CBT. Other one is FSTD. So jet induction training is also named as MCC, multi-crew coordination, and also jet induction training. So jet induction training, classroom will be of your 12 hours. Classroom means ground training, and FSTD is your sim training. FTD, let me tell you, like FSTD means FTD, इसके अंदर FBS, fixed base simulator. On a fixed base simulator, it can be either with or without motion. But mostly when you join an ATO, wherever you do your type rating from, they will do your jet induction training on FBS. That means a fixed base simulator. The simulator will be a full flight simulator, but the motion will be out. Right? So 20 hours is required on type A, same goes for type C. And jet induction training is not required for type B. And minimum requirement of ground training is ground training must include minimum of aeroplane systems training, general operational subject training, performance, safety and emergency equipment, theoretical training, systems, inclusions, integrated training, weight and balance, aeroplane performance, and the others. So the minimum requirement for ground training is 72 hours. So there will be 72 hours of ground school. That is a minimum requirement from DGCA that you need to complete. Then there will be a written examination for the ground class that conducts in two parts. The main first one is your technical exam and the performance exam. And the minimum marks for passing is 70%, right? Moving on, simulator training. So minimum number of FFS training, FFS means full flight simulator, sessions to be undertaken after successful completion of 2 and 3 above. So FFS can only be started once you complete your jet induction training and ground school. So each session should be of at least 4 hours, of which 2 hours shall be pilot flying and 2 hours will be pilot monitoring. So there will be minimum requirement is 8 sessions here, 8 sessions in type B and 6 sessions in type C. And each session of 8 it will be multiplied by 4 because each session is of 4 hours, right? Training objective of each session shall be achieved. Trainee shall be given appropriate additional training till the minimum level of proficiency is achieved. So what does this mean? So on every session profile that your training has been conducted, the instructor will be giving you satisfactory remarks that will be satisfactory, unsatisfactory. And if the instructor will give you an unsatisfactory remark, then you have to do a remedial session. Correct? So the next is LOFT, line oriented flight training. So sessions of 2 hours as per pilot flying on level D or level C. So this is one session is already required for LOFT. And then comes your skill test. After completion of all your trainings, the one thing that is remaining is your skill test. Skill test will be conducted on level D simulator itself by a synthetic flight examiner or a designated examiner. Right? One night, 1 day, 1 day and 1 night. So there will be 2 skill tests of 2 hours each, 1 skill test day, 1 skill test night. Plus, there will be, you can also complete your IRPPC with a skill test night or skill test day. That will be depending on your instructor if he wants to complete it in skill test day or skill test night. Right? This is other training. This is if required. This is not a mandate by DGCA. If you require such type of training, if the airline demands, you can do it. They delay adverse AWO, LVTO, ZFTT based training, other trainings. Right? So this is a hashtag that says for type B aeroplanes, MCC of 12 hours will be required. Can you tell me what are type B aeroplanes? I just told you a few minutes back. Type B aeroplanes was ATR Q400 or turboprop airplanes. So all the turboprop airplanes will be required MCC of 12 hours because jet induction training was not required. Instead of jet induction training, you will be requiring MCC training, multi-crew coordination training, right? So now this was all the that was required from DGCA part. So let me tell you what extra could FSTC provide you if you opt to join FSTC, right? So online CBT immediately on enrollment, 102 hours of ground school. Minimum requirement is 72 hours. We are providing you 102 hours. But minimum requirement is of 72 plus 12 hours of your MCC/JetFam, right? So we're providing you how many hours extra? 18 hours extra. So 54 hours of technical, 36 hours for performance, and 12 hours of MCC/JetFam. 5 sessions of FBS that will conclude your jet induction training. 8 hours of FFS, 1 session of LOFT, and 2 sessions of day and night check plus IRPPC. Right? Free practice session on specific type before airline interviews. So if you do your type rating with us, right, and you are aligned for a job interview, you can come to us and you can ask that I want my practice session. That will be like if you ask for a practice session, please allow us time because these simulators are running 24/7. This facility is running 24/7. And so there are also airlines that come here for their trainings and their sessions. So if you want to opt for a practice session, please allow us time and tell us well in advance that I want this session, and based on availability, we'll give you a slot. It'll be a 1 hour. And also provide complete DGCA paperwork. So all your paperwork will be completed by us, of course, and you just need to submit it. And EGCA support. So if you know, you must be knowing that all the trainings, whatever you do, need to be uploaded on EGCA now. Instead of going on and handing over your paper to DGCA, you just need to upload all the paperwork on EGCA. But it's a very lengthy and it's a very, what was that word I'm missing? Confusing. Yes. Sorry. It's a very confusing website because there's a lot of information there and a lot of things that you need to upload and how to upload. So if you need any help, of course, we provide the EGCA support. Right. So what is the online CBT that I talked about? That is online CBT is access for 90 days. What is mean by 90 days is once you opt for the course, right? For example, you opt for the course today. Today is 21st June, and you told us and you gave us your registration fees, and it's done. We will provide you access to the CBT for 90 days from the date of your registration. And even if your course ends in 2 months, you will still have 1 month of CBT extra so that you can practice all over again. Even if you have doubt in any other session or ground class, you can just open that and learn from the video. So let me show you what actually CBT is. So according to this, we have bought this software from CPAT, and once you join us, for example, for A320 or Boeing 737 ATR Q400, so we provide this type rating for these 4 courses. We have 4 type of simulators, that is A320, 737, Q400, and ATR. Right. So if you opt for one course, we will give you all the information and all the videos specifically for that type. So you don't need to get confused that if I am you have to go select and choose your type of aircraft. No, we'll provide you specific type of aircraft videos that are only for that type of aircraft, right? So that you can learn and start your journey with us. So this is even before you are come to FSTC, right? Next is your ground class. So this is just a small video how the ground class looks like. This is Captain Saman conducting ground class. This is just a small video. So 54 are technical. You will be having technical class, then your technical test and technical debrief. Then will be your 36 hours of performance class, performance test and debrief. Then your 12 hours of MCC or JetFab. MCC ground class will be conducted only by SFIs. MCC and JetFam classes are conducted by SFIs, not ground instructors. Right? And this can be varied, you can start your performance first or technical first. That depends on which instructor is free when, right? Next is your fixed base simulator. So this is just a demo of what a fixed base simulator looks like. This is a full flight simulator. You can see down here that these are motion legs. But play this video. The simulator is fixed. Right? The training is going on, the bridge is up, but the simulator is fixed. That's why it's called fixed base simulator. And you will have 5 sessions. One session is of 4 hours each, 2 hours of pilot flying, 2 hours of pilot monitoring, in-house SFIs. So what does it mean of in-house SFIs? So you know what's the best part if you join FSTC is all our instructors, whether it be ground instructor, SFI, SFE, they're all in-house. In-house means we have already inducted them with us. So once you join your training, you don't need to worry when your simulator, when your SFI will be coming, when not, because clearly I have partnered with, I've been into other ATOs, foreign ATOs as well, whether it be Jetstream or the ATOs in Greece. I've been hearing complaints about students like once they start their sim training, one day their SFI was different, another day their SFI was different, third day their SFI was different. You know what's the issue with having so many SFIs is you cannot connect with them. Because once one session is conducted, right, you already have been doubts like what type of session was that. But now you have all collected your doubts, you've been comfortable. Now you will ask going to ask the question to your instructor. But next time you're going for a session, the instructor was different. So and now once you ask your question to the another instructor, he will give you an answer, but it will not be the same. Right? Because the training that someone else conducted, someone else could not answer that question exactly the way that you wanted to know. So the best part is we only conduct maximum 2 instructors. So if you have like your training will be completed with one instructor itself. Completely worst case scenario, if the instructor gets sick and could not completely continue to conduct your training, will change the SFI. But if not that the case, the complete training will be completed by one SFI. You get comfortable with them, they get comfortable with you, and the training will go smoothly. That's the main requirement. The training should go smoothly all the time, right? So the next is full flight simulator. So now the motion is active. It's the same simulator that you saw in the last video. As you can see, the simulator is in motion now. They're taking off, right? So this is just the basic difference of FBS and FFS. It's conducted on the same type of simulator. These are all level D qualified. All the simulators we have are level D qualified. But once it's fixed, the motion will not happen. The sim will be stuck. And with the motion is on, you can just feel the entire motion of the airplane, right? So 9 sessions. One session is of 4 hours each, 2 hours pilot flying, 2 hours pilot monitoring, 8 sessions of full flight simulator and 1 session of loft. We also have loft of 4 hours. DGCA requirement was 2 hours, we provided 4 hours, right? And in-house SFI, as I told you. Next is your skill test. Of course, one session of 2 hours each, skill test day, one session of 2 hours, skill test night, and IRPPC. Your IRPPC will also be conducted in the skill test itself. And your IRPPC will be valid for 1 year from the date of your examination, right? 1 hour of a pilot flying and 1 hour of pilot monitoring. That's your skill test. So we also have in-house SFTs. You don't need to worry about that part. Oh, what more extra could you get? Like from apart from the training, if I tell you that I can give you something that any other ATO will give to you. And that's a guarantee. That's my guarantee. No other ATO as of now is giving this offer. Because they will give you offer, I'm going to tell you, they will give you offer of accommodation. If you go to any foreign ATO, that is mandate that you have to do is they will give you accommodation. They'll give you transport. But if you're here, I may or may not give you accommodation or transport, but I'm assuring you, even after your completion of type rating, you are covered for another 6 months or 1 year. Let me explain how. If your type rating is completed, for example, on 21st June, right? Your IRPPC date is 21st June 2024. Now your IR is expiring on 20th June 2025. Correct? 1 year validity, it's over. But if I tell you, if you're not flying after you completed your type rating, you will be required to do refresher courses. Refresher courses comes in 7 categories. Do you want me to list those 7 categories? So the first category is 0 to 6 months. So 0 to 6 months without flying, right? 0 to 6 months is within 6 months of your IRPPC, you have not done any flying. What now? You are required to do another IRPPC check. This is the requirement of DGCA. This is not me saying. You can go check the car in the DGCA website. It's their requirement. Another category is 6 to 12 months. So what is the 6 to 12 months? 1 FFS session plus 1 IRPPC check, right? Third category is 12 to 24 months. So it's 12 to 24 months, 2 FFS sessions, 1 IRPPC check, and plus ground school, 40 hours of ground school. That is also with your 6 to 12 months. But in 0 to 6 months, no ground school is required. But after 6 months, ground school is required. Again. So, and the other category is 24 to 36 months, 40 hours ground school, 3 FFS sessions, 1 check. Then 3 years to 5 years, 4 FFS sessions, 1 check, 40 hours of ground school. Next category is 5 to 7 years, 6 FFS sessions, 1 check, and 40 hours of ground school. And then comes your another category, the last category, that is more than 7 years. And once you are more than 7 years, you have to do your entire type rating again. So you got to know there are 7 categories, right? 7 categories that DGCA has told us for gap in flying, right? So what is the cost? See, for example, you do a type rating abroad. Now you came back. Now you're not flying. It's been 6 months. Will you go back abroad and they will give you a refresher course? What do you think? How much will it cost you? Just give me a number. How much will it cost you to just go abroad again and do your refresher course? I'll tell you, 4 to 5 lakh rupees. Transport, Ana Jana, accommodation, and then the course itself, the course fee, right? So it will all come up to you 4 to 5 lakhs. Are you willing to pay 4 to 5 lakhs again to them? Or what will you do? You'll join an Indian ATO for your refresher course. I mean, why would you go abroad again? Right? It was a one-time opportunity. You went, you did your type rating. Now you're sitting home. You have to do your refresher. Because if you don't do your refresher within 6 months, And if it's again, like if it's 6 to 12 months, you have to do extra one session, ground school. Now it's costlier, right? It's more costlier. 12 to 24 months is more costlier. So why? So now in FSTC, if you do a type rating with FSTC, right? We are providing you this free IRPPC session. This is valid for 6 months. If you come to me and ask me, Umang, I want to do my refresher. I'm within 6 months course. Give me my RPPC check I want to do. I'll ask you for 1 lakh rupees. That's my charge. 1,10,000 rupees is the IRPPC charge. It's for the simulator plus the SFE. Is the fee. But if you do your type rating with FSTC, then rest assured you are covered for the next 6 months. Plus point. If you do your IRPPC within those 6 months, first you get it free. Second, your IR is current for the next for the 6 months. It's extended. Plus you got another 6 months. Right? If you calculate all of this amount, you will see what I'm talking about here. We can give you free accommodation or free this, free that. No. That is just fancy things. But this is for your career. First, you're getting extended validity of 6 months. Second, you're getting current again. And for example, you did your type rating, now you're sitting at home, you're waiting for opportunities to come. You can come up to me, you can ask me for a session within 6 months anytime. And I will give you. And the next is another free practice session. That is another of, if you ask for one practice session, you go to any ATO in India, anywhere. They ask for a practice session. Go and ask for a practice session that I want to fly with your simulator for 1 hour. You ask them cost. I'm not giving you cost. You ask them cost and you will know what's the reality. You go to any other ATO, go for refresher courses, ask that I want to do your IRPPC session. Just ask. Tell you are type rated and ask them that I want to do IRPPC check for my 0 to 6 month category. They will tell you the price. Go do your own research. Right? So if you see that we are giving you value for your training and value for your money. So the course, and someone was asking me, when does the July and August batch for A320 start and how many slots and are available for the month for the both of the months? Okay. So the July course is starting on 15th of July. And August is also starting somewhere around mid-July. Right? All our type rating courses for A320 currently are starting mid of every month. For the other type of aircraft, I'm sorry, I'm extremely sorry, but we are full as of now. But there are a lot of training going on. Boeing simulator, like we had Boeing Splurge, but if the airline demands, we have to provide, right? So if you are interested in doing A320, or even if you are interested in doing Boeing 737, ATR, Q400, if you are interested in these 4 type of aircraft with us, with FSTC, or you want to learn more, even if you want to not join as of now, if you want to learn more about the courses, the price, and if you have any more doubts, I would request you go to this link and register, because registration doesn't cost you anything. Let me tell you, you have 14, 15 guys here. Just go here. Do we need our CPL in hand before starting our type rating? Yes. Yes, you do. But Udayveer, I'll tell you, you must be knowing when you will be having your CPR in hand. You must be knowing that. When in a month, 2 months, 3 months, right? So I'll tell you, if you just register yourself right now, man, that's just for free. You're not giving me any money as of now, right? I'm not asking anyone for money. No, I want you not to waste slots because these are limited slots. I am giving you this opportunity. I'm giving you this offer. And this is just specially for you guys. It's not public. It's specifically who is in the seminar. Both this offer is specifically for you, specially designed for you by me. So if you want to join us, even if you don't have your CPL, do me a favor. I have already pinned this link in the chat. You can all click in the link and register. Select the type of aircraft, select initial type rating, register yourself, right? Register yourself. That's the best. And I'll make sure the rest is taken care of. Once you have your CPL in hand, I'm here. Other teammates, Surbi is here, Lavanya is here, other teammates are here. Everyone, I'll make sure that you are provided this offer. Right? So that's just my request to you all. This is for your own career, this is for your own benefit. I'll just send this link. Okay. I'll just copy this link again, paste it. This is the link. I will request all of you, go register. Even if you want to learn more. And one more thing, one more special, let me give you one more opportunity. This is just specially for you. Okay. How many of you wants to come and visit the facility? Feel the simulator. And this doesn't require your CPLs in hand. I'm waiting for an answer. If you guys tell me yes, I will like get 1 day for all of you to come here, come FSTC Gurgaon, feel the simulator with our SFIs. How many of you are interested? Tell me. And that's for free, guys. I'm not asking for money. That's for free. I'm not saying आधा घंटा 1 घंटा मिलेगा इतना ही मिलेगा 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but that's your luck because 5, 10, 15 minutes भी अगर तुम इसको if you fly that simulator, no, you will get to feel the actual aircraft. That's my promise. And once you are once you felt that joystick or handle in your hand, no, you will feel which type of aircraft you need to fly. I guarantee you. Once you feel the type of aircraft, you are in for life. I'm seeing so many yeses. Mahindra, Udayveer, Gaurav, Tyagi, John, Devansh, Swapnil, Pankaj. All of you, right? You guys are registered with me. I have your email IDs. I'll just take a quick picture of this chat. This is especially for guys who are saying me yes on this chat. I'm taking a picture with my phone of this chat. Whoever is saying yes, I'll make sure you guys get a session. All of you. I took a picture of the chat. I have your names now with me. Do quick one thing. All of you go register yourself. Once you're registered, come here, come on the chat and say registered. John has already registered. Congratulations, John. And welcome to FSTC. We'll take your things forward. And all of you, go to the link. John, Mahinder registered. Congrats, Mahinder. Registered. Swapnil registered. They'll be registered. Does FSTC provide accommodation? If they don't, then do you guys help us find some accommodation? Ryan, I'll ask you a question, Ryan. Where do you live? Ryan, if you can hear me, I'm asking, where do you live? Mumbai. Okay. So we have two simulator facilities, Ryan. One is in Gurgaon, another one is in Hyderabad. If you do you have your CPL in your hand, Ryan? Okay, great. Do you want to stop your type rating? Okay, the next batch is in Hyderabad, going to be in Hyderabad in July. If you are willing, Ryan, if you have you registered yourself? Pankaj have registered. Not yet, but will do. Okay, no worries, Ryan. You go register yourself. And once you do, I'll take this forward and I'll tell you, we don't provide accommodation, but we have accommodation. I have already got the best rates from Hyderabad facility. Right? It's near the facility. It's very close, right? And they give you the cheapest rate in Hyderabad because I have personally negotiated them the prices because I do not want to charge you guys for accommodation. You know why? The course fee plus the accommodation fee. What if ATUs do is I only provide quality type rating. Right? We provide quality type rating and that's our motto. But I knew the people are facing problems with accommodation. So I didn't wanted the company to join, like collaborate with the hotels, because once the company collaborates, there's a fee that the hotels charge. That's the collaboration fee, right? Because they give you rates. So what I did is I give them, like, anyone who comes to you by the name saying that I've been training in FSTC, you give them special rates. So I've already got the rates with me. I'll share the rates with you. You will see the difference, right? So yes, Ryan, don't worry about your training. We have accommodation in Gurgaon and Hyderabad, both the places. And you get the best rooms near to the facility, food also with that. So you have to be rest assured. Don't worry about that. Gaurav registered. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Welcome to FSTC. For my son Hardik for A320. So we assure you have you registered, sir, for Hardik? Pankaj Chopra, am I asked? Yes, great. Okay, so he's already with FSTC. He's in FTO doing multi. That's great, sir. I love to accommodate our students also. So once he completes, you tell him you have already registered for A320. So once he completes, I'll make sure that he gets this offer even later. So you need to be, you just rest assured. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. So on this note, I would say thank you so much, guys. I know this seminar got extended by almost 38-40 minutes. I took your time. Thank you so much for giving all your time. If you want to, guys, if you want to take me another webinar on refresher courses or any other courses or EGCA, if you want to know more about how EGC operates, you can just, this is my email. I'm giving this is my personal email ID or slash I'm also writing the company email ID, right? You can write an email to me, right? Stating all your queries. And if you want me to conduct another webinar like this, if you thought this webinar was helpful, so we can conduct. The above one, umang.kaushik is my personal email ID. Info is company's email ID. You can write on any email, right? So when can we expect to visit the facility for trial session? I will give you the date. Don't worry about it. You will receive an email. So Mahinder, you are here as a guest. Have you registered for the webinar? Okay, great. +1. See, I'm telling you on the basis of availability plus on the basis of if you come with 1+1+1+, and the simulator is only available for example, 15-20 minutes. And see, the main is you who attended this webinar should be able to get the gist of it, should be able to get the bonuses for it, right? Because you attended, you gave your time, you are serious about your careers. You want to be a future of this aviation. You are the future. I will give you the best for it. You need to be rest assured. And the moment I'll get the timings from my team, I'll ask the team to give my timings for the simulators. And once I get those timings, I will personally send you an email. From my email or info or any other teammate from my team will contact you via phone or email ID. They will contact you and they will provide you. I'll give you a phone number of see, sometimes if I may or may miss your calls, but the team never misses your calls. So I'll give you a number that is available to you, right? Let me just take it out and I'm just putting this number in the chat. I'll give you two numbers, right? If one is not answerable, you can dial the other one. I'm giving you two numbers so you can contact my colleagues. One will be Surbhi and the other will be Lavanya. They both are with me. They both are part of the team. They both are very well experienced and they both are well aware about the situation. You just tell them, you just call them and tell them that I was a part of the webinar. This is my name and please register me for this practice session or whatever you call that. So these are the two numbers. Just save them as marketing. FSTC marketing. You have Pankaj has Surabhi ma'am's number. Okay. So I gave you two numbers. All of you can save these numbers. These are FSTC. And I'll give you more email IDs also, B's also, and Lavanya's also. Info, they both have access to info as well. If you guys have any other questions, you can send us an email, right? Or call on the number. I have given you all the email IDs, my email ID as well, other numbers. I've given you 4 email IDs and 2 phone numbers. So you can contact us, visit our website. I've given you the link for the website registration as well. Go check it out. I'll just copy the link again and put it in the chat as well again for you guys. So you can just have a link, right? And thank you so much for all your time and efforts. And I give you all the best for your careers. Do well, enjoy your time and fly high. Thank you so much.